Hello Aries, thank you for joining me here. This is gonna be your monthly reading for month of November. But before we start, actually I started the reading after I shuffled and everything, and then I realized that it did not actually get recorded. So I didn't want to shuffle again. So here is the card laid out, and I'm just gonna go from it. And yeah, I need to say that this is gonna be the reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus Aries or cross watcher. Anybody who comes to came to this like if you're watching this is for you somehow. And thank you so much for watching my videos, liking, subscribing, sharing. This really helps. And if you like what I do, please do subscribe. If you have not, that way you can support the channel. Okay, so let's begin. So the first card that came out together was the Hierophant in reverse and Queen of Pentacles. So I feel like something happened recently that it feel like that you kind of feel, it's like you kind of feel down from a social standpoint, from let's say I think there is a fall in terms of your social like you're standing in the society, or you're standing with your friends group, or you with your family, and it's like I don't know, for some reason I feel like maybe you have been associated with some kind of stuff. It could be which is a little bit of tabooed, or a little bit not really socially acceptable, and you did that. You kind of was you were kind of involved in that kind of action. I don't know some reason exactly what it is right now. Maybe with the cards when I read, it's gonna we're gonna figure it out more. But you are right now really looking at this your own, like you are kind of asking, like, what did he, like, why I did not have, why I could not have that, the groundedness, that material stability with this. You are kind of, it's kind of a little bit of, I'm also getting from Queen of Pentacles card. It's like I feel like you are kind of in a, it's a little contemplation energy, at the same time kind of regret that it did not work out. And not only it did not work out, whether it's a relationship or whatever, it's like your whatever the situation is, but it's not only that it did not work out, it actually kind of dampen your reputation if you are worried about that. So it kind of dampen your reputation, and it kind of put you kind of put you to the corner, and you are right now kind of in a contemplation mode and really reflecting on, like, why did it turn out this way. You are kind of in that zone. And the next card, next two card, I don't know, for this reading I'm getting like it's like a duo kind of thing. And next two card that came out was Queen of Wands with Three of Pentacles in reverse. So that because of the Queen of Wands right after this fall, I feel like this has something to do with, you are kind of passionately, there is some kind of relationship which is not really accepted, socially accepted. Okay, so let's say like, I don't know, maybe you are having, like, there is so many rules in our society. So maybe somebody, you had a kind of passionate kind of encounter with somebody which you are not supposed to do, but you did it anyway because the desire was too strong. But for some reason, maybe you are having an affair with, I don't know, like a married person, or all these taboos that's there. There are so many. So I feel like this is one of those cases like where you kind of went with somebody or some kind of behavior or some kind of lifestyle that was not really socially acceptable. And that's why the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Three of Pentacles for this reading, I'm getting this kind of collective energy, kind of peer energy, and it was not looked very well. It did not look very well. People did not appreciate what you are doing and who you are going with and whatever you are having this relationship or passionate encounter with. They just did not, your family, your friends did not were not approve of, and that actually kind of dampen your reputation, because this might be something a little bit scandalous, like that's what I'm getting out of this. And then I got this King of Swords, and I feel like King of Swords in reverse. I feel like from the beginning, from the get-go, you kind of knew that this is not gonna work. This is only gonna harm you socially. I'm not talking about emotional, but I'm talking about socially. And I think the person, if you're connecting with, I think it does matter to you how you're perceived socially. I think it does matter to you how your family, how your friends sees you. It's not that I don't care. Maybe you wanna come across that kind of rebellious kind of in nature or a personality, but deep down you are not. You do care about how people perceive you, how your success or whatever you do in your life is it talks about you. It represent who you are. So if you take out what you do from who you are, that's not you. So you kind of deep down you knew that from the get-go that this is not gonna work. This is something, you knew the truth, but you never listened to it because the passion was too strong, because the Queen of Wands, you wanted something, you really felt like this is something that you have been waiting for, and maybe you have not acted on your impulses or acted on your desire for quite a long time due to many things. Sometimes we focus on other thing other than our romantic or sexual desire. We focus on our career, we focus on our family, we focus on our well-being, spirituality, so many other things. But I feel like after a long time, this kind of that the passionate kind of desire kind of door kind of knocked so hard this time, and you could not resist it. So that's why you went against the grain to manifest or to actualize this passion, which kind of fired back on you, and your reputation, your social standing kind of dampened down. And but you knew that from the beginning, but you did not listen to it. But after all this, like a catastrophe thing kind of happened, now I feel like this is your now energy. Is like you are really hanged man, like you are really contemplating, you are trying to having a different perspective, you are trying to detach yourself from this kind of bondage that you had with this person or this situation, and you are trying to detach yourself. The way you are trying to detach yourself by focusing on yourself, focusing on maybe a healthier lifestyle and focusing on healthier thought, or maybe doing something that people usually do when they recover from some kind of traumatic event, which is like the more focusing on spirituality or more focusing on mindfulness or all those kind of things. You are doing that, but for some reason it's actually the Hangman came with another duo card, Six of Pentacles in reverse. And I feel like no matter what you do, even though it feels like one day you feel like, okay, I'm in control of my life, I'm doing all these things, I'm waking up early, I'm having my tea, I'm going for a morning walk or jogging or exercise some kind of, I'm going to work, I come back, I cook for myself. It's like a very very normalized kind of lifestyle you are trying to manifest right now, because before it was like all ups and down, kind of heavy wavy. So you're trying to tone it down, but no matter what you do, at the end of the day, when you are by yourself, you feel this kind of lack, you feel this feeling of abandonment, the feeling that you are not good enough, or you are not getting what you want, and those kind of deprivation kind of energy kind of lurks in, and it gives you a lot of frustration also, because you feel like I'm doing everything that I could possibly to get out of this energy so that I can get my mojo back, get my power back. But it's kind of getting hard for you to get your power back, get this balance back, and get this kind of normalize your life the way you want to, because the next card we got is these lovers. And I feel like with the lovers, I feel like more than it's a, I don't, okay, you think this is something that you really loved. You think this relationship is something that you put your almost everything, you kind of put yourself on the line, and because you thought that this is something that you really love. Whether you do or not, that I don't know, but I feel like from this card I'm getting this energy, like I feel like you want to make this like something that you are very serious about, something that you can go a long distance with, something that you can sacrifice a lot for. Because I feel like this also gives me a sense of you want to prove something to yourself. I feel like that maybe you have trouble, like letting someone in completely and getting to know you completely, be vulnerable and getting to kind of unleash yourself completely. Maybe you have that kind of issues or that kind of characteristics in you. So you feel like finally when you got so connected, because for you going against your social standard was saying something to you, that you are ready to sacrifice a lot for this person or for this situation. So you feel like if you are ready to do all these things, there must have been something deeper than just for like infatuation or lust or something. It has to be something very kind of strong connection or something like that. At the same time, when you feel like that, then what I got, then the three card came out actually together, and it speaks a volume, because this, like, I got Ace of Pentacles with Seven of Swords and then Devil followed by the Devil. And look how he is looking at the Devil, like you want this stability, you want something that you define love, which is like which is like you want to open yourself up, you want to give that person or give that love everything that you have, because that's the way you think that that can bring you the stability. That's your way of love, when you give everything, when you do your maximum, when you do not hold back, that's when you get the sense of stability. But you try to do that with this relationship or with this situation, but it's like you also know there is like this kind of elusive desire, there is some kind of like a bondage with this person or with this situation. It even though you want this kind of stability, but you always looking back this Devil, because you have your doubts, and you by now you completely know this is something that never gonna work out. Because and why I was thinking of what is the Devil, I feel like there is a lot of sexual component here, maybe something that was not like I don't know, there is something that like the physical intimacy has been our biggest issue here, whether it's too much of sexual encounter or it's just a different kind of sexual encounter that you don't want, that you do not see, you cannot connect that kind of sexual behavior as love. You have certain definition of love, and whenever this happen, you want to open yourself up to new opportunities, you want to open yourself up in a different perspective of looking at things, but deep down you feel this is something that you cannot do. This is like you are stretching yourself too thin here, and that creates a lot of dilemma, and that creates a lot of unhappiness. And when I kind of knew what Devil here, but still I wanted to clarify. And as a clarifier, I got, excuse me, as a clarifier, I got the 10 of cups. So I feel like what devil energy here is, other than the sexual component that I just talked about, I feel like here with this relationship or with this situation, you feel like you give everything to the point that you do not hold your self esteem. What emotion is needed, what emotion is should be reserved for your dignity, you even give that up. You give everything in the name of love, because you think that this is something that you really want to make it work, because before you feel like there is something that's at your fault. You feel like that you need to open up, you need to give, and when you feel like this pressure of loving somebody fully, you give them so much that you lose yourself. The moment you lose yourself, you don't know where you are. It's kind of completely foggy and lost kind of scenario, and it this kind of devil kind of instant gratification, some kind of bondage energy, some kind of some kind of lifestyle that does not just go with you. It just against your social standard. It just brings you down in front of all the other people that you are connected with, in front of your family, in front of your friends and your colleagues and everybody. It just, and it bothers you. It's not that it doesn't bother you, because it does bother you, because that kind of lifestyle is not yours. But at the same time, a moment where you are with them and in that situation, you give everything, and you even give your self dignity, self esteem, everything is on the line, because you feel pressured that you somehow you kind of convinced yourself that you don't know how to love. I don't know why you think that, Aries. I really don't know. Maybe over the period of time, people kind of made you believe that you don't know how to love, and you started believing that. And then when these kind of things come, you get very confused whether you are not liking it because there is something fault in you, or is it really bad. So that kind of confuse you, and then you feel like, okay, maybe I don't know how to love, so I'm just gonna give everything. And the moment you give everything, even yourself, your own some emotion needs to be kept to ourselves, so that it's kind of I feel like you just give away yourself, and that's a devil. And you're constantly looking at it, even though you want this Ace of Pentacles, but you are constantly looking at this devil, because it's really really bothering you. And I feel like you already came out of that, but right now you are processing what really happened. And again, look at this King of Pentacles in reverse. These things is not gonna give you any kind of stability that you are looking for. And it makes you very emotionally sullen. It makes you very emotionally empty. It makes you feel kind of worthless. At the same time, you feel like you are doing something new. Yeah, that's an adventurous feeling, but that feeling doesn't hold that long. And then you kind of this like emptiness, emotional lack, and it takes you deep down somewhere, and then you feel all this kind of dark energies, and it's completely destabilize you. You are trying to get away from this. You are trying to do your best to get into the hangman position, to focus on your own well-being and spiritual life. But the moment you think about this kind of stuff, that person or that relationship, it takes you down some kind of rabbit hole, and it kind of really shakes your stability. And it by now, but it just, now you kind of question then whether you will ever be able to love, not because you love that person so much. It's not that you think they're the one or something like that. It's just the question of whether you know how to love or not. I feel like over the period of time, you kind of believe that you don't know how to love. That's not true. That's not true. So you get into your emotion and it just makes you feel a lot of things, kind of grieving, kind of self-doubt. You even question your own worth. It kind of takes you down in the rabbit hole, and that's why your whole stability gets kind of shaken up. Huh. Yeah, I mean, in terms of, I don't know what to say to you, Aries. I mean, you definitely know this is not something for you. This is not gonna fly with you. But this is something that you have never done also. This gave you a little sense of newness in you that you have never done before. You feel like finally you took a step towards something against all this kind of conventional thought, and that makes you feel that a little revitalized, that you can stand for yourself. But this is just too toxic. You are trying to come out of it, but you still go back. It doesn't feel good as of now. Maybe you just need more time. But choice is yours. Choice is yours, whether you choose stability over this desire or not. I mean, what works for you. I cannot tell you what works for you, but I can just unfold that what's going on with you. But just from the card I can tell that this relationship is not gonna, it's, if you think like that over the period of time it's gonna be something that you desire, forget about it. It's not gonna happen. It's just a two polar kind of energy. It's up to you whether you wanna go back there or not. But I don't think you want to go back. But this relationship or situation kind of, yeah, it will leave a mark on you, definitely. But maybe that's it. That's all it is. Maybe this is something, just a fleeting experience that you needed to go through. I cannot talk for you, but you have to decide. Maybe the more you spend time, with time you would get more clarity on this. But right now I feel like just stay with your hangman energy. Even though it doesn't give you solitude, even though it doesn't give you stability, but nothing is instant. It may take longer time to get that kind of solidity, to get that kind of groundedness back. But just to say if you go back to this is not gonna give you any groundedness, that's for sure. But if you choose to be non-grounded, that's completely your decision, and that is gonna be your choice. If you choose that, yes, go back. So choice is yours. What are you gonna do? I think this is all I got for you, Aries, for the month of November. But there is you are healing. That's a good. Maybe from time to time, because it doesn't pay you back immediately, you get impatient. But I think the key here to be in the hangman energy and be patient with yourself and not to hold on to this. If this relationship or situation shook you that much to your core, that says something to you. Maybe you should listen to that. Alright, okay, I'm gonna stop it here and hope you get something out of it, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye bye.